afternoon yesterday, then he remembered. 2:30 is when he ran to the altar to sow his seed. What was he having? You see, you've got to understand something about the glory of God. The glory of God is not bound by time. When the glory of God rises in you, there's a realm of having a harvest. I'm trying to tell some of you, see, this doesn't happen, this doesn't happen. One of the things that you're going to have to do to break this barrier is you need to remind the angels. Psalms 103 verse 20. The angels, they hearken, they listen to the voice of the word. Isn't that right? What do the angels do? Psalms 103 verse 20. They listen to the what? You have to tell it. Say, I command the angels of God, you obey Amos 9:13 in my life. Now remember, how is the seed sown? Is the seed sown with a willing heart? Yes. I was in, Port Harcourt, Nigeria. There was a businessman, he had a contract. This was about 10 years ago. He lost the entire contract for construction, highway, whatever, lost everything. He came to the meeting now, I was preaching for Pastor Zili Agri, Royal House of Grace. So I come outside and the businessman says to me, I have lost everything. I said, what do you mean? He said, I used to have 20 trucks and all this, but he lost 4. Now he's living in an apartment. Only has 20. He said, I have no more money left. I have nothing. He says, but I heard your message on the glory of God. He says, I went to my bank. I took everything I have and I converted it from Nairas to dollars. It was $1,000. He went down by the car. He fell on his knees. He said, can you please pray for me? And he reaches up and he gives me the $1,000. When he gave me the $1,000 and he put it in my hand, his phone started ringing. But he said, pray for me, pray for me. I said, don't you want to answer your phone? He said, no, please pray for me first. I looked at him and something rose inside him and said, answer your phone, the contract is on the other line. When he answered the phone, he landed a contract for millions. And he was restored. There is a realm. I was preaching for a pastor. He wants me to come back right now to him in Cape Town. Pastor Philip, Peter Long, great pastor in Cape Town. I'm preaching for this pastor. I was just preaching on the glory of God, preaching. Suddenly, after 3 days, at the end of the service, he runs to the front and he says, everything that's in my church bank account, God told me to give it to you. His board members stood up. That was on the end of the revival. And the board members came up and said, Pastor, there's no way you're doing that. He had the board, he's got a board. He had to fight with the board for almost 3-4 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think it was finally Monday he said, they still don't want me to do it, but he said, I'm going to do it anyhow. I think it was 10 or 50,000 rand or something. So he goes to the bank. On the next day, he walks in there. Now, his church board members don't want him to give everything. He's sitting there at the bank in Cape Town, and they're starting to, he says, can you transfer the money from my church bank account, and I have a South African bank account to Warren Hunter's account. And he had my information, so they're trying to transfer. While he's transferring, the lady says, something's going on with the computer, it ain't working. So she has to stop and wait. I need to go get my manager. Something's going wrong with your account. She runs back to get the manager. The manager comes back to the counter. She says, no, nothing's going wrong. Somebody is just sent 30-some thousand pounds from London into your account. Amen. I command the blessings of God on you. Take it. No, I'm trying to give you a revelation. There's a realm of finances where you are not subject to seed time and harvest. Let me give you this. Are you ready? Genesis 8. You know why seed time and harvest came about? Let me show you. Man sinned. Before man sins, he's not bound by time. You understand? There's a difference between what I call the I will realm and the I am realm. I will is the self-building kingdom realm. You're trying to make it happen yourself. I am realm is timeless. When you enter into I am, you're not trying to make something happen. You just know. I'm not looking for money. I am money. When I know I am money, I already am. Because whatever you decide you already are. You can lose it in the now. When you put whatever you put behind I am righteous, I am sanctified, I'm redeemed, I'm cleansed, I'm whole, I'm healthy, I'm blessed coming in. Whatever I am revival, I am kingdom. I'm not looking for the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is within me. And I'm righteousness, peace, and joy. I am a son of the I am. When I step into I am, I bring it into the now. It's not somewhere down the road. Once I know I am a son of the I am, it moves it into the now. I am is not going to be. I am is now. I am the resurrection and the life. Not down the road, now. Lazarus, come forth. Are you still with me? I'm trying to paint you a picture. Because most people, you see, Jesus didn't come and say, I wonder if I have enough money. No, he's like, I am supply. Where's the loaves and fishes? I am multiplication. The oil and a morsel did not run dry. You see, you can take away, I don't know how many cars I have, Jeep, my Porsche Cayenne, I have 3 houses, I have all kinds of, you can take away all 3 houses, my building, it's probably worth $1 million or more, I don't know, 5, 6 cars, you can take everything I have away. All my cars, all my houses, you can take everything away, but guess what you can't take away? I am. I am will always find the money again. So that you're looking to go somewhere, you already know I'm blessed coming in and going out. I'm the head and not the tail. Are you there? I'm trying to get so there's a difference. Well, once man sinned, he became bound by time. Fear is bound by time. Worry is bound by time. Anxiety is bound by time. Now you're trying to get life insurance, medical insurance, dental insurance, this insurance, that insurance, burial insurance, graveyard insurance, time. Fear. Oh, I don't know if I have enough money to give, or I don't think I can give 1,000, or I don't think I can. Come on. The fact is you cannot not do it. The fact is that you've got to do it by faith. The fact is you have to believe it. And willingly. Do you understand what I'm saying? It has to be by faith and willingly. If someone gets it, they have no problem sowing massive seed. There's no problem with that. Hallelujah. There is a realm. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen this. I had a pastor. This guy is the one that hosted on Kenneth Copeland, Jesse, all these people. He was up in Wisconsin. I go preach for this pastor. He says, I owe 2 million on my church building, the loan from the bank. I'm preaching on the glory of God. He says, I don't know what to do. When I finished preaching for him for I think it was a couple of meetings, he gave me $7,000. But as I was leaving his church, he said, this is all I have left in my bank account. But the week before, he was in a prayer meeting because he was praying with pastors, because he's the one who hosts the conference, the Mid-Northwest, the conference where Jesse, Creflo, all of these guys come together. But he walked down the parking lot and said, God told me to give you everything I have left in my bank account. And he gave me a check for another $2,000. He said, that's all I have left. He owed money on 2 houses, 2 million he needed to pay his debt. The minute he handed me the money, right after that, he got a phone call. It was a guy who was in a prayer meeting with him just a few weeks before. We happened to come to the prayer meeting that he was leading for the conference. He said, I saw you in the prayer meeting. He owns 20-some golf courses. He said, God spoke to me and told me to take care of all your church debt. Do you know what happened? He paid off his entire church, 2 million. The next time I came across the lake to go preach, he said, where are you? I said, I'm on my way. When I came to his church to preach that Sunday morning, when it was finished, he said to his secretary, woo! I remember the last time Warren came here. Get all the tithe, all the offering offerings, just get it all. Just give it all to him. You see, I didn't have to look for the money. That's right. When the glory rises, Isaiah 60, verses 5, the wealth of the Gentiles will what? Come to you. See, you're not looking for it. Do you understand what happens when you enter this realm? I'm trying to paint you a picture. This is beyond seed time and harvest. When man sinned, Genesis chapter 8, this is where I was trying to go. remember what God said in Genesis 8? He's saying because something was going on. Look at this. You'll get this. Watch this. Genesis 8. Let me give you one more verse here. I want you to just see this. The Lord said, verse 22. Look what it says. Verse 21. Ready? Go with me to verse 21. What does it say? I will never give curse the ground because of man, for the imagination of man's heart is what? The imagination is what? The imagination is? Therefore, the next verse, there'll be seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer, winter, day, night, time, bondage, bound by seasons. The result is because man's imagination was evil. I'm trying to paint you a picture. But when you set your faith, faith has this incredible ability to reach into the limitless realm, to reach into the realm of no time and bring it into the now. I stood, let me give you one more story, ready? Let me give you one more story to make this so real to you, to step this into the realm. Because it's very important to understand limitlessness and timelessness to step into creativity. Are you ready? I sat in a meeting in North Carolina. They brought this guy with ambulance, and you know how expensive. I said to them, how did you do that? I said, that's going to cost you a fortune. About $2,000 or something. You know, to get this guy, ambulance, everything. They were friends with the doctor, so the doctor's sitting on the front. The guy's sitting over here, the family. He's hooked up with machines, you know, like a big box. They plugged him in. He has, how can I say, the one kidney on this side is dead, and the other kidney had been removed. So I said to the doctor, I said, what's going on? He said, well, he's probably got maybe 2 days to live. That's why the family came with ambulance, the doctor, everything is laying there, hooked up with machines. I said, what's the machines for? To keep him alive. You know, because of the kidney. I lifted my hands into heaven. I stood in front of him. I lifted my hands in heaven like this. I just went like this. I said, Father, I thank you for a brand new kidney. I just held my hand. I said, thank you for a brand new kidney. I waited. And while I was waiting like this, I could feel the weight of God's glory. See, this is eternity where everything is now. Glory, the Word became flesh. And we beheld His glory. I could feel the weight of God's glory in my hand. When I felt the weight in my hand, I suddenly went, I could feel that kidney in my hand. I looked over and I said, I have your kidney in my hand. Thanksgiving gives faith power to convert what is unseen into the seen. Once I had that kidney, I looked at him like this. I said, I have your kidney. I reached out like this. I put my hand like this. I felt the kidney go in his body. I put my hand like this. I said, I speak perfection over the kidney now. They ended up taking him out of the building. 3 days later, he came back, walking, 2 brand new kidneys. And I think the Word, did we wait for a kidney to grow?
No.
I cannot tell you how many times we've had God, literally a thyroid. I've had it, I can feel the parts come in my hand. That means you're having a harvest before the seed. You're drinking the grape juice before you plant the seed. I had a lady in a meeting, I dreamed she came in upstate Tennessee. The day before I was praying in tongues like 3-4 hours, and the Lord said, tomorrow a lady's coming to the meeting. She had an accident 2 weeks ago, so bad that it cut her leg off. She'll be on the 4th row, 4 seats over, tell her to go out and command her leg to grow. I came to the church the next day when I stood behind the pulpit. I said, the lady over on the 4th row, God told me her name, told me everything about her. I told her what her name was, everything. I said, you had an accident 2 weeks ago. It was so bad that it cut your leg off. You love God. You've been in faith. The power of God's there. God says, go into the aisle now. When she did, I said, I command your leg to grow. The next thing you know, when she fell, the entire leg started growing out. She grew a whole leg and a whole brand new foot laying on the ground. You see what happened? Did we have to plant the seed and wait for harvest?